We're once again back with the budget trailer today. We're going to be doing some tie-down points, some safety chains, and I've been avoiding it long enough. I guess it's probably time to look at the wheel bearings, eh? Well, I hope they're good, because if not, you know, all the work that we put into this trailer so far has been for naught. Welcome to Boneyard Revivals. Alrighty, we are back with the budget build trailer today. If you didn't see the last video, we did some trailer lights for dirt cheap, and we lit this trailer up pretty good. Today we're going to continue working on the trailer. I want to get some tie-down D-ring hooks mounted and attached, and then we also have new safety chains that I'd also like to get on the trailer. Alrighty, here are the D-ring hooks that I bought. These came off of Amazon. I think I paid 30 bucks for a set of 4. I figured we'd try them out. If we like them, I'll buy more as we go. Like I said, they come in a 4-pack. They're only 30 bucks and they're good up to 12,000 pounds. So figured those would work out pretty well for us. The question is where do we put them on the deck of the trailer? I went ahead and I went around yesterday and kind of made that decision. I'm going to have 2 on the back here on the side of the angle. So I'll get one, basically we'll center up that guy with our lines there, drill them, and then they'll be attached like that. And like I said, if we don't like these, I'll go back and do more. But the key thing was just to get some on it now so that we have some tie down points. There are tie down points kind of on this trailer already. The previous owner went ahead and looks like it was either rebar or whatever they had laying around, and they welded them on. So they're good tie downs, but I want something a little more suited towards having a vehicle on this trailer. This trailer was used mostly as an equipment trailer, like hauling around an excavator and stuff. So these hook points were great for that because most of your weight would be centered on the trailer. But we're putting full-size vehicles on here. We're going to want tie-down points pretty far back, and then we're going to want them pretty far up. So up here, I have them marked out to go right here. It'll be one of those things, once we actually get a vehicle on this, I'll tie it down with that, and then I'll make, you know, mental notes as we use the trailer more on where we should put some better hook points. This is the hardware that they send with these hooks. These are going to be pretty long, so we might have to cut them down. I'm going to go ahead, we'll get this one mocked up, we'll drill it, and we'll take it from there. I jumped ahead and got the ones done on the front. I had to notch these, unfortunately, to get that bottom bolt in, and I was a little perturbed about doing that, and it kind of looks junky, but at least it's into a solid point. We got 4 now. So, and I pretty much just repeated the same process that you guys watched me go through for this one back here. You know, this one had to get notched too, unfortunately. And the good news is that board is, you know, not doing too happy. We're going to let it ride for right now, but when we go to put another set of boards in here, we'll probably, if we ever put another set of boards in here, I probably will not be the guy doing it. But yeah, we got some D-ring hooks on now. Now what I want to do is I want to get to our new safety chains. Again, this was another Amazon score, so I ended up paying 30 bucks for these. The reason why I went with these, they made little tabs for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 bucks a piece that were just the weld-on tabs. That would have went there, and then we could have put these old chains on it. But I figured, you know what, we're here. Why don't we just replace them? And they're powder coated black and red and look nice and shiny. So spent a few extra dollars to go with these. Basically what my game plan is we'll pull the pin out of these. I'm going to drill a hole through the center of that for a bolt. So a bolt's going to go through right there. So I'll get a bolt through it, and then we're going to go ahead and weld all the way around it after the bolt's in. It's easier that way because since I suck at welding so much, as you guys probably know on the channel, at least there's a bolt there holding it. And then with the weld around it too, I think that's just going to set us up. don't ever allow me to touch a welder ever again. I honestly just started learning how to weld like 2 days ago, so they're gonna be pretty bad for a while. Good thing I'm not doing any body work. I got this thing currently set up with some flux core so I don't have to use as much gas. If you guys want to see that video where I converted this, I'll leave that link here. But yeah, we got some work to do. This side's not as bad. I kind of figured out what I was doing over there. Honestly, it probably isn't penetrating enough. We'll just make it attached. That's the whole reason for the bolt. I'm not worried about that bolt coming out, but if I just zap them on there, yeah, probably trailer would fall off the back of the truck. But all right, I'll get the grinder out and grind away all the ugly stuff and make it look like, yeah, he kind of zapped it on there. Sure. There's our new safety chains. I like that setup. That's way better than that bar that we used to have that went from there to there. So got safety chains on and we got D-ring hooks on. That's awesome. This thing's pretty much really starting to come together now. Now we got to do what I've been trying to avoid doing this entire time. We're going to pull the wheels off and we're going to inspect the wheel bearings. Don't do that first because that means you might have to invest a bunch of money in the trailer if everything's bad. So just save that for last after you're already well invested into it, so then you know you have to fix it so you know you can use it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I was already inside what would have been the driver's side front when we had that tire when we first got it. That was pretty ugly. I went ahead and mounted another, tire just to get us by for now on. And while I was in there, I looked at the bearings and stuff. Nothing too scary. The bearing, like lash, I guess you would call it, was a little looser than I wanted it to be. So I'm expecting that to be about the same for all of them. But let's go ahead. We already have the front one done. Let's pop this tire off and see what we got going on. Please don't be garbage because I'm broke. How are we doing? Hanging out, having a good time? All that's intact. There's a little play there. Probably should get a bushing for there, immediately. Okay. How's our... Actually doesn't sound horrible. Loosey-goosey is not bad. Flip-floppity, it broke on my own property. That's usually when you got bad news. I'm probably gonna put some gloves on so you didn't avoid getting all the grease on your hands, but getting all the grease on my hands shows the old lady when she gets home that, hey, I was working all day. All right, I'm a productive member of society. Let's see. Well, that looks good. Good. That's not too terribly messed up. The seal looks still existent. And this outer bearing looks stellar. All right, so obviously I don't have brand new seals sitting here waiting to go in this, so I don't want to risk pulling it out because honestly, the second you pull a seal out, you need to put a new one in it. So we're going to avoid pulling the seal, which I know it's kind of like, well, what's the whole point of you pulling it apart then? But this at least lets me get in here just to see what we got going on and make any notes for, the future when we might need to, upgrade. I'm going to get some dimensions off this so I can start looking into what seals would fit best for this so I can get some replacement ones in. And then I'm going to clean this bearing up really good too. See if I can get a part number off of this one and that one. And see if I can order stuff up for the future when we come back in here and, then we can do a full proper rehab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to re-grease this back one, as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect, I know. Then we'll go ahead and we'll completely re-grease this front one. We'll throw it all back together for now. This is just a rehab inspection. Basically saying, hey, if I use this thing tomorrow, is a wheel going to fall off going down the road? Because, you kind of want to avoid that. All right, so we did our half a re-grease on this guy. And basically we're looking to set the bearing here. So the way that I was taught how to do it anyway, if I recall correctly, is you start tightening up your nut and you want to get a feel for the bearing. So as you're tightening, you're going to kind of feel it, and then you're just going to feel it kind of tense up. So there's just a little tension on that bearing now. So now we're gonna back it off a little. And we'll just set it again here. So tightening, there's a little bit on it. So then we're gonna just back it up and then basically try to find the cotter pin hole. You don't want it slammed on there tight because that's just going to wear the heck out of everything. So you want a little tiny bit of play, but not too much, and that's way tighter than it was before. That is leaps and bounds better. And even like the feeling on the bearings just from re-greasing them, you can feel that they've stiffened up a bit. A little better. So look at that. That's all she needed. So then we'll go ahead and we'll bend our cotter pin ears around so the cotter pin doesn't come back out, and then it retains the castle nut. Alrighty, front wheel's off. It's pretty much the same way. We gotta take that one off, pull a dust cover, pull the castle nut, and then the whole brake drum assembly will slide with it. Noticing our brakes here, all the wiring's there, but someone just went through there and said, aha, nope, and snipped them all. So I'm curious if they're cut because they were having an issue with pulling it with a truck that didn't have a brake controller and the brakes were locking up. So instead of putting a brake controller in, they said, well, make it so that the wires don't make the brakes, you know, turn on. It'd be really neat if that was the case and I can just get away with rewiring these at some point. Just rewire them back in, and then we have completely functional trailer brakes. But for now, like I said, we'll worry about that at another date. Alright, so we're cleaning up this bearing here for the front one. And this one actually has a part number on it. I am gonna have to take mental note of that. This is the only one that had one. So, and it looks to be the exact same size. Lord, I hope it is. We'll clean up, we'll do the same for this one. From looking at these look pretty solid. Let me pull my glasses down like an old man so I can look at them. Oh yeah. You know, back in 1973 when we built this trailer, we put the best bearings we could in her. You know, I miss back in the day when you're a kid and you're in someone else's shop and you were using all their brake clean. Dad would walk in. There's so much brake clean fumes everywhere that you're practically getting a contact high just by walking in the door. And he comes in, he's yelling, "I don't be using all my brake clean, boy. Why are you using it all? You know how expensive that is." I'm happy to say I'm officially that version now. Every time you go into the case and grab another one, you're like, oh, good Lord, that's expensive. The nice part is the way that this brake hub is, I can re-grease both of them. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you my actual process. I know we kind of banged through the other two, but I'll actually show you the old school method of hand packing these bad boys. Grease them. It is probably not as traditional. Some of you older guys might like this. Really simple method if you don't have all the special doodads and tools. And the best part is you don't have to go buy all the special doodads and tools. It's pretty much what you do here. Like I said, you get a glob it on your hand and you start working that bearing race into it. And basically just what you're doing is there's a little groove on there. I think you guys can see it. Basically what you're doing is you're just taking the grease that's on your hand and you're pressing it into that space. And you're gonna keep doing that until you see the grease start coming out this side of the bearing. That way you know that you've fully packed it. So the good news is that all of our brake hardware seems to be there. It just needs to be cleaned up. The pads even have some life left in them. So I guess what we'll have to do, yeah, there's the magnet. So that just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but all of it's there, which makes me really happy. So I think basically sometime in the future, we'll once again come back in here. And now that I actually have the bearings, we'll probably order up new seals for these ones. And then we'll come back all in one shot. We'll see if we can get these brakes functional. would you look at that? We've come to the end of another video and I still don't have to scrap the trailer yet. Nice! This thing's honestly really starting to come together and I'm super excited to be able to get it out and start using it, which is exactly what's going to happen in the next video. Make sure that you stay tuned and that you're subscribed for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to get out in the shop, start wrenching on your projects. Your dreams will not work unless you do. And if you do have a project that you guys are working on, as always, let me know. I'd love to hear about it down in the comment sections. Let me know what you guys are working on, tinkering with, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time here on Boneyard Revivals. Take care.